spooky time. Can we get a little bit of a recap of what happened last time?
Last time we had all of 3 conversations, and boy,
Uh,
did we have them?
fuck the newspaper guy. He's an
Yes,
asshole.
yes.
Yep.
Uh, Evie cannot be trusted to have basic conversations with old ladies.
I don't think that that's the main takeaway from that.
Nope, it is. And uh, Ellie is has a lot of boyfriends.
A lot of gentlemen callers, not necessarily boyfriends.
She picks one up in every city that we go to.
So much like character lore building happened last session.
And
Uh,
Nathan is the only one that is successful while in the library because he's the only one that can stay on fucking track.
yeah, that's why Evie married him. Teehee.
No.
How could we forget?
Nathan is tired, man.
Nathan and Evie are now married?
Question mark?
Nathan Chambers Keegan.
Yeah, we settled on Chambers Keegan.
We?
Yep.
Who is the we in this situation? There is no we.
I mean, Nathan gave input. Evie took into account.
Nathan said no. And Evie said yes. And then Evie went ahead. That was the extent of we.
Nathan said that he wouldn't take Evie's name.
Z, this is what it is like to be the token guy in a group of women.
I'm aware.
Oi! Stop that.
Bad sailor.
Stop licking the pillow.
But
Oh,
we
tasty.
went to the newspaper and tried to get more information.
Mhm.
The editor is a pain in the ass simply because he's on a power trip.
Yep.
The front desk lady is very nice but also very deaf. And apparently Ellie's newest boyfriend wrote an article about the shit that was happening in the house that got pulled and replaced by the editor. So she has a new job to go talk to her new boyfriend to find out shit. And the article essentially said that there is a history of people going crazy and killing and or dying while in that house that goes back into like the 1800s.
You're leaving out both the crimes against academia and the microfiche, Z, which, as you recall, we spent a great bit of time on.
We are not discussing the microfiche because that's we did go to the library and I think we found out a little bit more. I forget what we found out.
I think
at
we
the library.
did. We found out something.
Yes. The last handouts 3, 4, 5, and 6 were found in the library.
Okay. Oh, right. There's some sort of lawsuit fuckery about.
Hold on, I'll label these.
Yeah, and so that's why we have to go to City Hall or some shit today to try and get some write-ups on these lawsuits or talk to people that know about the lawsuits.
Okay. So I think we left off last time with everyone going to bed after getting dinner because Nathan wanted food. Nothing was going to stop him.
Nathan wanted food, and Nathan wanted bed because Nathan was done.
Yes. It was very understandable.
Nathan has to wrangle both Ellie and Evie. mostly Evie. And all of you wake up. You guys are like what, staying at like what, a nice hotel because of Evie?
Well, also, don't we get paid like a substantial amount per day too?
Yeah.
We could
Yes.
stay at the nice hotel.
Yeah, I was imagining like medium to nice, like not like the 5-star ritzy place, but like decent.
Yeah, like it's not the Four Seasons, but it's like the nicer Marriott in
Mm-hmm.
town.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the shitty Marriott.
Yeah, no, fuck that. You all got the dough. You're gonna get a place with a very nice included breakfast. And that's where we will pick up. All of you wake up, you do your morning routines. Uh I'm assuming Nathan is ready first.
Probably because he probably ends up downstairs reading the paper with like coffee.
Hmm. So you can all reconvene the next morning, having gotten ready and over the included breakfast with your moderately nice hotel. Sorry, moderately fancy.
So correct me if I'm wrong. The only other place that we know that we can go to aside from the house is the records.
Mm-hmm. The Hall of Records, I think. Because we've been to the asylum already.
Mm-hmm. So Nathan probably lets the ladies wake up a second and get the whatever distractions they have out of the way. Because I am imagining, since they are research partners, that the two of them just like, I had a thought too. And it's just like,
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of that. Just like chatting about nonsense. More discussions about fish than anyone should have before breakfast.
Not to mention, Elaine has like an hour and a half, 2 hour wake up routine.
Poor Nathan.
God fucking damn. Nathan, how much coffee do you want, man? It's on the house.
Look, these curls take a lot to care for, okay?
Well, see, he doesn't have to be awake for that fucking wake up routine. She's got her own fucking room.
That's
He
true, that's true.
he's been awake for like 30 minutes. He is clean and shaven and downstairs with the first cup of coffee by the time the two of them manage to make their way down. It's like, you both have been up for 1 to 2 hours. I've been up for 30 minutes and I'm already ready to go.
So I figure Evie and Elaine are like chatting happily about something fish related. And it's just like something completely grody, right? Like about like
Spines on the back of a rockfish can penetrate through the hardest shoe. Did you realize that?
you'll be dead before you hit the ground. Fun fact. Charlie's brother almost died because of one of those things because he almost fucking stepped on one.
Oh shit, I'm so sorry.
No,
Oh my
it's fine. We clowned on him for it. We clowned on him for
Okay.
it. But it is very funny.
Oh, sorry.
Because
Nathan,
they're. Oh,
so just Nathan would like let that conversation go on for about 2 minutes before he's like, it's not necessarily something we talk about in polite company in public.
Evie tilts her head. Are you polite company?
It just, the look that he sends her.
Evie will smile and sit down and pour herself a cup of coffee. Actually, no, she drinks tea.
That she bitches about, so she might as well drink coffee. You know,
If
there have been
if
days
they've
that
been up,
I'm really thinking about whether or not I need to be here. You realize that, right?
gotta get the accent again. Shit.
Baguette, omelette du fromage.
Omelette de fromage.
Do you have a job that pays better?
Well, to be fair, I make about just about the same, but one had a lot less this
Beautiful women?
Excitement.
frustration.
Well, I'm sure that running at full tilt through the woods from a ghastly creature is also very frustrating.
That was one time, and I survived, so it wasn't quite frustrating.
What about dealing with those rowdy teenagers, always setting fires where they shouldn't? That also seems frustrating.
Hmm. Just about as frustrating as you picking fights with people.
I was not picking a fight. I would argue that most strenuously.
See,
She.
you're already saying you argued.
Why, yes, because it's an argument. But that
Fine,
it doesn't necessarily connotate aggression.
you pick fights, ma'am.
I do not pick fights. I am trying to educate people.
You pick fights like Ellie over there picks boyfriends.
Now, I resent that. She doesn't have very much in the way of discerning taste.
Excusez-moi.
Yeah, you just
It's.
as soon as Evie said that, like there's the brows go up and Nathan's mouth closes like okay, that's a new target has been chosen.
Excusez-moi.
Hey, what's the
Well, it's just, there's no rhyme or reason to it, is there? I mean, no offense. It's simply that you should be seeing men of a certain caliber, and you seem rather allergic to that caliber.
If it was not for me, we would not have as much information as we have.
Oh, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. Your methods are extremely effective. It's only that I hope when you're considering a serious relationship, you'll consider somebody a bit more established. You know, my brother is always asking about you.
Mm.
Hand over face.
She kind of thinks, it's like, and waves her hand in like a none. If I were to actually seriously pursue someone, you would know.
All right, well, you will hold auditions, won't you?
Isn't that what dating is?
There's a pause as Evie considers this. She looks into her teacup. Hmm, I suppose it is. Huh. And then she just quietly has some tea.
And Nathan just takes in the silence for a moment and sighs as he realizes that he has to break it. So we're heading off to the courthouse today, right?
That would be the plan. After breakfast, of course.
And after that, I personally can't see any other way that we're supposed to be going right now, so Unless there's another rabbit trail that we need to be following after we hit the courthouse.
Well, you would be the expert in rabbit trails, wouldn't you?
He just kind of like pauses, shakes his head. It's not worth it. Kira is spicy today with Evie. Kira's coming out swinging.
I'm sorry, would you like me to settle down? Was that too much? If that was too much, I could settle down.
You're fine. You just really had a long day. You're coming out swinging. Nathan just like shakes his head. If there's nothing else coming up, perhaps we might need to stop by the actual house before sunset tonight.
I'm beginning to think that would be a very good idea. We've heard so much about it and haven't really had to wrestle with it ourselves. At least this way we'll be going in well armed and aware, with the best weapon of all, knowledge, and a scalpel.
No. If that's what you think is best. And looks towards Ellie. Unless you got some other ideas.
No.
When did you set up the actual conversation with your newest friend?
Out of character, I didn't have a specified time, just whatever works for us in character.
Okay.
A time, a place.
The next day.
Thumbs up.
Could be this day, could be tomorrow.
I would say tomorrow so that we can courthouse and actual house at least once, and then Evie can go chaperone Ellie on a lunch date.
There's stuff Nathan wants to do. Oh no, wait, yes. The lunch date with the fella.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that'll go great.
Nathan's already said not it this time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. So, you all finish up your breakfast, which, by the way, what is everyone's breakfast? I'm curious.
Are you gonna pull up the menus again? Where's our menu?
Yeah, what's the menu?
What's the menu, Amy?
Jeez, I just wanted some flavor about what you guys like to eat. Goddamn.
I cursed you by giving you that fucking website.
Goddamn, man.
Well, if we can choose, Elaine probably has like fruit and yogurt, something like that.
Hold on, let me see what the Waldorf Astoria was serving. Can I have supreme guinea hen, please?
Fucking bougie ass Evie. For breakfast?
I don't even know what that is.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, I know what a guinea hen is. Supreme. What's supreme about it? Guinea hen's just...
I don't know.
Guinea hen's just a tiny chicken. You got the full decked out, all the fixins on a tiny personal chicken.
It's entirely in supreme guinea hen. I don't know what that means, but it seems like something that Evie would order.
Right.
Fucking... Just fucking omelet and toast with
Simple.
some sort of, like, meat.
Understandable. Wait, hold on, wait. So, like, Ellie gets some yogurt and fruit.
Like
Nathan gets
kind of
omelet. Yeah, parfait. Nathan gets an omelet and some toast. a normal meal, and then Evie gets
A supreme guinea hen entirely, and
I'm just imagining a tiny chicken just perfectly roasted. Like, it's on the dinner menu, but she ordered it for breakfast.
the waiter is just absolutely astonished. Deep sigh as he heads back.
He starts to try to argue, and then he just gets like the fucking shaking head from Nathan of like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, my man.
You're not gonna win.
It's much easier just to fucking pull the bird out of the freezer and do it.
Doing the quickest thaw in his fucking life.
Someone drop the kitty hen. Someone drop the kitty hen right now.
I need bird down, bird down. Alright, so I imagine it takes a little bit longer because of Evie's. Cool. Took a whole fucking little chicken for her. But you guys do get on your way. You guys took a train there, so it's cab time again. Or you guys could walk.
Tell me if it's not too far. It's walking is
I'd
fine.
say, yeah. It'd be like, what, 30, 40-minute walk? Not too far.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you guys make your way there, and it's simple enough. It's not the same hustle and bustle that you guys saw at the Boston Globe. It's about the same activity level that the library had. However, there isn't the near silence that there was in the library. Here, there are quiet conversations that you can't really make out, but, they're there. There's just like subtle murmurings from a couple people talking here and there around. The building is in very, very good condition. It's not completely pristine, but you see that it's very well kept and very clean. And as you enter it, you see there is someone, like, towards the front, but they're busy putting things away. Or they give you, like, a polite nod of hello, but they go back to what they're doing. And as you enter, you just see that there is just a entire, like, catalog of things that are dated. Not dated, fuck. Uh, what's the, you guys, your researchers, what's the word for the thingy? The big list of thingies?
Indexed?
Yes.
Categorized?
Thank you. Yes, you see that. So you see that this place is much like the library, where y'all are just free to just look around. There is a sign-in book, though.
I mean, Nathan's not going to like decide to sign anything. Because unless he's told he's required to, he doesn't think he needs to. But he is just gonna like wherever he thinks to start looking for cases, he's gonna go there.
All right. So, everyone looking, for stuffs. I'm going to need some library use rolls.
Library use, what a goddamn skill this is. We have been rolling this non-fucking stop.
I mean, y'all are
You
researching.
have one of the best, and you have not gotten it.
I think Ellie's is better than mine. Also, do we have to roll for luck?
Oh, yes. Roll for luck.
How do we do that again?
You're going to roll your luck. Like normal. Okay. Iris? Hey! Everyone gets 1d10 added. So just roll a d10 and then add that to your luck.
Nice.
I didn't mean to roll again.
I can do basic math. Look at that. I'm so proud of myself.
Good job.
Thank you. Now I'm going to roll library use.
Hey, she's focused.
Evie's got it this time.
Yeah, Elaine's got it.
She needed
Elaine,
that.
Elaine
She
tried to
needed
think?
that whole hen in the morning to focus.
Mason's also still got it.
Yo! All three of yous are on target. That breakfast, man.
The
Brain
team is
food.
cracked.
Get a 9. Holy shit. All right.
The curse that makes me roll low on roll 20 works in my favor in this game. In no other game does it work.
All right. So, this is the handout that you find, handout 7. Court records. Because you guys were investigating the law stuff that you guys found. You guys see that the lawsuits and all of the paperwork and all of that Walter Corbett's will was executed by someone named Reverend Michael Thomas, a pastor for the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets. You also note, just very, very quickly cross-referencing with all of you getting that high, you see that the Chapel of Contemplation was closed in 1912, approximately 11 years ago.
So we're keeping it at 1912?
Yeah, are we keeping that 1912?
Fuck, you're right. I completely forgot. A couple years ago.
See, the first Cthulhu distortion is all the time nonsense. We see one number and then it flickers and it becomes another number.
Hold on, let me double check this here. I don't think it matters, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we're keeping it at 1912. But yes, that was when that chapel was closed, and you have an address for it if you wanted to go there.
Can Nathan do a quick look and see if he can find any other documents pertaining to this Reverend Michael Thomas?
Uh, you can roll me either library use again. Let me see the list of skills, because my object permanence sucks. Is this a skill? Or a law skill?
I see nothing even close to that, so I'm going to assume I'm not going to roll that. Oh, law. I saw you said or a law. I heard oral law.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I know I don't have that. I also don't have law. Law is even worse than library use. So I'll use library use.
I'll say everyone is free to roll.
First time that I have failed.
We can all roll?
Yep.
Okay.
Either library use or law.
I would be very
We're-
confused if I did succeed on law, though.
We are not finding that. Do I have law?
Oh,
I have
I'll use,
law at 5.
Me too.
I'll use 9 luck. That's what I need,
Use
right?
9 luck?
To get a success, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So you use your 9 luck. Make sure to note that down on your sheet.
Yep.
But you do find something, Ellie. It's something very small, actually. It's no wonder the others didn't see it, because it was stuck to the back of one of the other books. But you see that there was actually records of a police raid on that church.
Ooh. Let's search that then. If there's something we can reference to that.
Mm-hmm. you, because you use 9 luck, you find this here. Let me just double check the dates, make sure this doesn't fuck with anything. Ellie, you actually find something that it was hard to find. However, you get the feeling that this wasn't supposed to be in these files. It doesn't match the rest of it. It looks like this slipped through the cracks, so to speak, getting mixed up with other paperwork. You actually find what looks to be a police report, not court records.
Oh,
And they essentially break down to there was a raid by the police because the people at the church people thought that they were responsible for disappearance of children in the neighborhood. During the raid, 3 policemen and 17 quote unquote cult members were killed. Nothing really came of the autopsy, though. That's a little odd. And all of the members that were arrested, everyone except 8 of them were released. There's some weird hints of interventions in the proceedings. However, none of that ever really went into the records at all. You see that one pastor, Michael Thomas, was arrested and sentenced. However, he escaped from prison a few years ago and left.
Okay, let me restate everything that I think I just heard because my language comprehension just went out the window for some reason.
Mm,
There was a raid
mm.
for unspecified reasons.
For uh, people thought that the church was responsible for the disappearance of children.
Okay, so that's the part that I missed.
Okay.
And then there were some of the cops were killed in the
Yeah.
raid.
During the raid, 3 cops and 17 church members.
Okay.
It's in the handouts. I was just giving a synopsis if someone didn't want to read.
Okay, so Michael Thomas, as far as we are aware, is completely out the window, not being able to be talked to about anything because he's on the run.
He's fled the state.
And okay. Nathan just looks a little bit more sour at seeing the report. I just always end up with some weird ass group of people causing issues.
Find out who the official is. Ah. That might be something that we can get from the reporter. But I don't know if that's something that we can get here, although maybe we can.
Yeah, if this is in what we're finding from a police report, it wouldn't be in there.
Mm-hmm.
It would certainly be something that either the reporter kid might know or, yeah, drop a little hint of something for them to chase down. Uh, So Nathan just kind of, I imagine, has leaned against a set of shelves and is kind of flipping through a couple of the papers.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like we might be able to go to this church since we have the address, but if it was a crime scene and people died from not only gunfire but fire, I don't know how much is going to be left that's going to be useful there.
Well, the sorts of people that we tend to deal with do tend to squirrel things away, don't they? It's possible that there's something hidden under a loose cobblestone or some such nonsense. It's worth checking out.
And it's a cult.
So it's a cult? It is a cult or a church. Well, you know, that's actually a very fine line.
Yeah, that's gonna make me go on a rant, man. One of my fucking like committee members for my master's degree was a scholar in cult versus church.
Is it?
I will
It's a you know it when you see it, isn't it?
Yep.
I will confirm the Chapel of Contemplation is registered, or was, not a thing anymore, but it was registered as a church. However, they were accused of cult activities, and that's why the raid took place. So, yeah, it's a fine fucking line there.
This is not a classroom, Z. Don't go
No,
into
Z,
a
we're gonna
lecture.
Z. I need you to sidestep around it.
We're moving past it. We're moving past it.
We're moving past.
I am actually interested in hearing this, but not right now. Not right now.
That'll be the after credits lesson.
So we're gonna go investigate the church. Choice, even?
Sounds like it.
Choich?
Well, do you want to go to the church or would you prefer to go to the house?
Nathan doesn't really care which. He's more concerned with there is going to be potentially more danger with the church.
So, should we go back to the hotel, strap up, and then go to the church?
Probably.
Unless Nathan keeps that thing on him.
Considering it's a shotgun, no. Pretty sure it's a shotgun lighter. Yep, 12
Essentially,
gauge.
it's
It's
fucking
gauge.
elephant gun.
So, yeah, no, he like y'all start talking about let's go to the church and see this shit. He's like, when you go back to the hotel, I need my gun. Do I know
See,
I'm gonna need it? I don't know. But it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and it be halfway across the city.
That's what's so good about scalpels, dear boy.
Yeah, right up until you realize that in order to use your scalpel, it's gotta be close enough to claw your eyes out.
If you're close enough to do that, you are also close enough to drive the scalpel in. And I do happen to know where most vital organs are on most living things.
You can drive your scalpel in all you want, you're also gonna be with a few less eyes.
Ellie will read to me.
This and this, the two of you are the reason I need a shotgun. So we're going back to the hotel.
Evie just smiles.
He would have looking at his shit again. He would have his stick with him, but only his stick, because that's the only acceptable thing.
Get stick.
He has a shillelagh, which is fun because word is fun, but then you realize shillelaghs break fucking bones.
Oh yeah. No, they're like designed for that.
They are brutal, man. But yes. Back to the hotel to gather shit, which I imagine there's probably some things that the ladies would also want to investigate a place. Possibly.
Uh yeah, let me open up my possessions here. Yeah. I didn't add any possessions.
I mean, I always say, unless it's something super, super restricted, your character can have whatever makes sense that they would keep on them.
Yeah, Evie probably has like some assorted like medical kits. Well, not medical, but science kits or whatever the shit.
She's got equipment.
Hmm.
And then off to the church.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on, I'm pulling something up real quick. Ah. Damn. All right. So, you all head back to the hotel. Nathan picks up his gun. Very important. Very important. And as you all make your way towards the address, this is actually a place pretty far. It's not in comfortable walking distance. It'd be an hour or two. It is in the city though, but it's a bit out of the way.
I imagine they probably would take a taxi if it's more than like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, that feels about right.
Mm-hmm. All right. And the driver kind of like, you rattle off the address and he kind of looks at you, looks at all of you sideways, but he keeps his mouth shut. He's here to drive you there. He's not here to ask why. But he doesn't take you guys all the way to it. He takes you to the end of the road. And you see that it's a very like dingy street. You see that the building where it was isn't, it's just a pile of rubble at this point as all of you step out of the car and start walking towards it. You see that the ruins are so weathered and overgrown that the gray stone, it looks more like natural stone than former walls and foundation. And as all of you make your way, you see that the sun isn't setting, but as you walk, it's almost as if the clouds move to hide it a bit, giving it an almost sunset vibe at like 2 p.m. And there's just wind in the air as you step forward. And as all of you step closer, you see that there's this weird white symbol that's been painted. It looks like 3 Ys arranged in a triangle, so that the top of each one touches the other two. And in the center is a painted eye. Now, the weird thing about this is that, other than the symbol itself, you notice that it looks like it's been freshly painted. Everything else here looks years old as if it hasn't been touched, except for that symbol. It looks like it was painted no more than a week ago.
Can we figure out what that symbol means?
Sure. Or you can try. Everyone to place the tokens on the map.
I don't like that. I don't like you asking
Sure.
us that, and I don't
Here?
like that there's a grid.
Here?
Oh, my apologies.
Where are we, Amy?
The
Top,
left or the bottom?
left.
Left?
Top left. Okay.
Hold on.
I don't think I made like a token. Let's fucking see if I did.
I took off the grid for Yuzi.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll go make a token.
So
Alright,
we're
give me a
looking
second.
through the doorway into the symbol?
If you want to, or you guys can step in. There's no one around. You know, it's just the three of you and the ruins. As far as you can tell.
A time potentially for one of my highest skills. So theoretically, supposedly one of my better ones.
Okay, downloading. Okay. And then I just. I forgot how you do that. There we go.
Okay.
Which direction is front? Is it up here, down here?
This is where the front doors would have been essentially.
Okay, then yes, Evie's good there.
Okay. But there are no doors, and looking in, you can very easily see everything pictured here.
So is this like a giant hole in the middle?
Yep.
So fucking shillelagh stick out. We're gonna poke the floor
Mhm.
as before we walk.
D&D tradition.
That's not even D&D tradition. It's that floor has already fallen in. We're gonna whack it a couple times to make sure it doesn't fall when I put my weight on it. I imagine the first
Okay.
time is like whack whack, pause, and listen really hard. And make sure there's nothing that's moving that he don't want to be moving.
All right. So, are you entering?
If he doesn't hear anything. And the
Nope,
floor
you don't
still
hear
seems to
anything.
be sable.
You do hear a where the fuck is my tab? Oh my god, where is fucking anything in my life?
GMing stories.
Where's my fucking tab? I had this open.
Just GMing things.
Right? Nathan, can you roll me? You can roll me a natural world, a track. You
I'll
could
take
roll me a spot
track.
hidden. Any of those will work, or even navigate. Honestly, actually, no, not navigate. Okay. So, as you said, you like take the stick. You just like what? Bang bang.
Yep.
Yep. As you hear it, you see that its ground is solid for the most part, but you can hear a slight shifting in it of it's solid for now. However, there is a chance it could cave in more.
Does the door frame seem sturdy?
Sturdy enough?
would it make sense for Nathan to have rope?
He strikes me as a guy who would.
Mm, yeah, he'd have rope, and he will secure it to the door frame,
Okay.
and then kind of look back to the other two. It's like that floor don't seem very. Well, it don't seem like it's gonna be staying up very much longer. So if either of you want to go inside, hands on the rope at all times.
Evie doesn't argue with Nathan and just puts her hand on the rope and follows.
Thank
Elaine,
God she knows when to argue and when not to.
I feel like they've been working together long enough that she's figured this out.
just thank you for coming prepared.
Well, that's what I'm around here for, ain't it? Making sure neither of you end up dead in the middle of nowhere.
You're very good at that job.
No, don't curse it by saying that out loud.
Elaine wants to make a beeline to this symbol, see what it says.
Well, that's the first place that he is heading towards, but he is not encouraging speed right now. Because it's always tap, tap, wait a second, then take a step or two forward, then tap, tap.
Mm-hmm. Say, as all three of you enter the threshold, and you set your sights on that symbol, it's painted on the ground. The closer you get to it, and while it's in your sight, all of you feel this tingle in your forehead. It's kind of like a headache, but not quite. But it is a bit irritating. Not completely disorienting, but it's very felt. And the longer you look at the symbol, the stronger it gets.
Still gonna try and translate it. At least Elaine is.
Nathan doesn't like it, but I also think Nathan is probably looking at it the least out of everybody.
Yeah, I figure Evie would probably take a look at it and try to figure it out. But I don't know if this is exactly her realm of expertise.
Mm.
Elaine is a little excited to look at this, to be honest.
It's Elaine's turn to be a fucking weirdo. All right. Let me see what you've got here. Elaine, what are you trying to do here?
Trying to figure out what the symbol is, or if it translates to something in particular.
All right. So you would. You can roll me a cult.
Okay. Where is my cult? Oh. Okay. Edit. Oh, I'm in edit mode. Oops. I'm gonna spend a little luck to make that a hard success.
Okay, that's gonna be 5 luck, right?
Yep.
All right.
Can I YOLO roll?
Well, what would you like to roll? Or what would you like to do?
Can I YOLO roll a cult? Because I've got a 7 in it.
If you want to, you can go ahead.
Yeah, that's about what I thought.
This symbol. You know, if you squint, it kind of looks like a starfish.
That's exactly where Evie's mind is.
I kind of want a YOLO roll tool, but I also don't want it to like accidentally roll 100 and like fuck shit over.
See, how bad could your curse possibly be?
Don't say
say
that.
that.
Don't say that.
Furiously knocks on wood. If you want to, you are free to roll.
Now that she said that, I'm not going to. Listen, you were there to witness me roll 2 nat ones in a row. Less than a week ago.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. That was a big fucking oof.
That was a big oof.
Hmm. All right. So you're making that a hard success, right?
Correct.
All right. So looking at the symbol, Elaine, you again, it's kind of hard to focus on it because the longer you study it, the more and more that tingle in your forehead distracts you. But you're able to just try and ignore it the best you can and just focus on what you remember and what you've seen in the past. And you notice that this symbol, you've seen something similar. It looks like this symbol was connected to a few other symbols that you've seen, kind of put together to form something larger. And with that hard success, you put two and two together that the Chapel of Contemplation, based off of the symbol that you are staring at, and that's kind of burning itself into your memory the longer you look at it, it's similar to the symbols you've seen from the Starry Wisdom cult. As if this place was an offshoot of it.
What's the Starry Wisdom cult? I don't think we've talked about this, right?
It's something that we haven't. Um, this is just straight up like this is another cult you've read about,
Okay, got
something
it.
far larger, and that this cult actually talked about having a renowned sorcerer that achieved the secret of immortality. You can roll me a
Come on, Romeo, over.
intelligence check. Oh, sorry, good.
Oh, no, dog. Go ahead.
And so if you want to try and learn more, you can roll me an intelligence to see if you can piece something else together.
Okay.
Ooh, just barely.
Hey.
With that, you realize, once again, the house that you're looking into, the Corbett house, you've seen that name elsewhere as well. Somehow connected to this cult. You don't remember exactly, but you do know that you've read it before while researching this cult in particular.
Hmm. Elaine will give that information over to the rest to the two.
As Elaine says this, Evie listens intently and nods. Well, it's never anything simple, is it?
No, but at least we have a connection.
Indeed, that was very well spotted, Elaine.
I wonder if this one is actually connected to something else that's big like that, then More than probably just rumors about local officials meddling in things, then.
Which makes me wonder just how much about this place we were supposed to discover. Perhaps we were simply brought on to rubber stamp something, and. Oh, I don't believe we'll be applying that rubber stamp now.
Well, we still don't know nothing. Not till we finish looking around here and looking at the house. More or less.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be accurate, yeah.
I would like both Ellie and Nathan to roll me luck. But you guys get a bonus die because of the rope Nathan prepared as the ground beneath them starts shifting.
What does bonus die mean?
You're essentially going to roll your tens place again and then take the lower one.
So roll like a percentile.
Yeah.
I already got an
Eh,
extreme luck, so I don't want to roll anything else.
it's essentially this version of advantage.
So that would be a 92.
Yeah.
42.
Okay.
So 42.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at
So
that, Z. I didn't curse you at all.
Dimity shush!
Kira, no bullying the Z.
I'm not bullying.
Shush!
I'm shushing.
However, Evie, from where you are at the doorway, you feel it too. The crack in the ground that forms kind of from here, and it kind of goes up. That you can't fucking see that shit.
Nope.
Hold on. Black? Does black better? Yeah, there we go. This crack kind of forms and kind of skirts right by here. So this entire thing here is gone as it sinks deeper into the sinkhole in the center. Now, Evie, you're able to step back in time because you're at the doorway. You're ready to fucking book it. Nathan and Ellie, however, the two of you hold onto that rope like a literal lifeline. And Nathan, I imagine that you step back away using one hand to push Ellie back as well.
Yeah.
Mm. And thanks to that, the two of you are able to sidestep and completely avoid the hole that just forms. But it does break that symbol up a bit. And that tingling sensation doesn't disappear, but it does lessen a little bit. It's not as obnoxious as it was before, especially being so close to it. But it's very much still there as you all peer down into the hole. Like all of you to roll me a spot hidden.
Kira, what'd you do?
Police sirens give me power.
Whoop,
Shit,
whoop,
I didn't mean
here
to
comes
click it
the
twice.
police. We'll go with the first one. All right. Elaine,
Charlie,
I
they're coming
imagine
for
that
your girl.
Nathan. You're
Charlie.
trespassing.
Charlie is going Mimi's now, so they will be departing. But thank you for hanging out,
Hey.
Charlie.
Good night.
Russell.
All right. So, Elaine, you aren't able to see anything because Nathan kind of body blocks you for safety reasons, right? Because otherwise you'd probably be down in that hole.
Mm.
But Nathan and Evie, both of you spot that it's not just darkness. As this hole opens up a bit more, some sunlight shines through. And you see that there is a floor down there. It's not just cavern. You see that that's a basement.
Nathan, I do believe I found our cobblestone with something beneath it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I also have found it, considering the fact it opened up 2 inches from my foot.
You quite all right?
We are fine. Looks over at Ellie to confirm.
Nod, nod. I cannot see what is downstairs, sir.
Another floor.
Is that it? See?
That I can see?
Is that it?
Oh. I ain't stuck my head in no hole yet to see if there's anything else. Looks
Did you,
towards. I'm assuming that like Evie has just like put her hand on the rope almost exactly where it has been tied, like half a foot to a foot away from like down the rope. She has not
Evie was
progressed into the house.
instructed. Yeah, Evie was instructed to hold on to the rope, and she's holding on to the fucking rope. she's she's learned a thing or two from being stranded on a lighthouse and going off on her own. If you're told to stay on a rope, stay on the rope. But she does look over to the others. Did you bring your torch?
Were flashlights invented yet?
Were they? I think they were.
When were this is just custom in Call of Duty. When were flashlights invented? 1899.
There we go.
Hey,
Flashlight.
Yeah, it's fucking big ass
flashlight.
like metal, like chunk of metal flashlight that were like the originals. Turn
Like one of these bad boys right here.
turn the fucking thing into a club.
Yeah, the chunky.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, look at that thing. It's beautiful.
Right? All right. You say
I
you turn on the
imagine.
flashlight. Oh, sorry. No, good.
Iris.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I imagine Elaine has the flashlight as well, so we have more light. Flashlight.
Y'all are fucking paranormal investigators.
We're the
I
Scooby Doo
imagine
crew.
exactly. It's Scooby Doo, but Call of Cthulhu.
What Nathan is going to do, because he knows what this means. He knows he's the sacrifice.
Oh, Nathan.
He is
Elaine
going.
will go down if you want.
He's going to move over here and fucking manhandle Elaine back onto the porch. So
Just
they are
lift
on.
her with one arm around the waist, just hoisting her over the hole.
We know that that is stable ground.
Mind the rope.
She has taken the rope and kind of wrapped it around her wrist a little bit. You know, like the double wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan will get on his hands and knees with a flashlight and will stick his head down first with the flashlight to look around before he actually volunteers to go crawling down.
All right. Are you doing like a quick look around? Are you just like scanning for movement? Are you looking for like stability? Like,
Movement and stability first, I imagine.
okay.
Like,
Okay.
is there anything that he needs to be immediately concerned about down there? And does he think that if he goes down there, that floor is also going to crumble underneath him?
Or something crumble on top of him.
Yeah. So, quick look around, you see that there's nothing moving that catches your eye, except maybe like an earthworm that's very disturbed from what just happened to its home. And what you notice is that there are stairs that looks like they were up over here somewhat as you peer down, but they're covered in rubble and buried. And you do see more rubble down there, and it's kind of hard to look from your position, but you don't see anything that's an immediate threat. And between your other rolls from before, you can gather that there is no floor below that,
So it's just earth underneath it.
just earth on the ground.
Okay. Well, he'll kind of like look around for a minute. Oh, well, voice was like, well, it looks like there was some stairs over on the north end. They're out of commission now. Ain't no chance of you using any of that. And we'll just kind of like slowly raise back up onto his knees, look up at Evie, look at Ellie. Y'all gonna make me go down there, right?
Make is such a terrible word.
Well, there you go again, arguing. Oh,
I wouldn't be a doctor if I did not argue, Mr. Keegan.
see, you say that, but I know a few doctors myself. They don't argue nearly as much as you do. He's just like muttering to himself as he is like grabbing the rope and like double checking it, preparing to lower himself into this fucking hole. Pauses long enough, looks at Ellie. You ever want to get a fancy degree and be called Doctor too? You ain't gonna argue like her, right?
Not argue, but debate.
I'm gonna burn your fucking papers. Continues.
God fucking damn, man.
He's grumpy, man. The fucking hole nearly swallowed him.
Well,
Let me.
now he's going in himself.
Ah. Let me see something real quick. I'm going to.
How does it feel
What?
being the frontliner?
You say that like I don't have frontliners.
Let's say, like, bro. Have you met Isul? Have you met Farah?
Yeah, but like they're actually tanky.
Farah has like 2 health, as he likes to remind us.
He has crazy AC and temp HP.
Now, in all the temp, I have 10 temp HP, ma'am. I have 1 hit.
Alright. I just did something to the sheets. I put it in the settings, so when you roll, you should have a little thing pop up asking about um, bonus, penalties, or normal. That'll make things easier.
Fancy.
Alright. Oh, no, I want to get rid of this box. Fucking. Okay. So, who's going down?
Nathan,
For real? Is it just Nathan?
at the moment.
Yeah. Elaine will hold a flashlight for him though.
I would say on his way down, because this place is fucking huge. It takes about like the same, I would say about the same ish amount of space as the church itself. It probably extends a bit bigger though, like just off the map. But Nathan, while you are climbing down, I'd like you to roll me climb with a bonus die from your rope and the help from Elaine.
A good thing that you're giving me the bonus die. Because that's one of the abilities I forgot to invest in.
It hardly ever
Actually,
comes up.
no, it's better than I thought. I was looking at Charm first. Slightly better than I thought it was. Still not great. 1 die for the bonus, I'm assuming, is what I enter here.
Believe
back
so.
real
Let me look
quick.
at the equation on that real quick. Okay. This is 30. 1d10 times 10. Can you roll again, but with 2 die and see what happens with that?
Mhm.
Because I'm trying to make sense of the equation.
I like that number better.
Times 10. Because it's 2d10, keep 1 times 10. Okay, I think that's the way to do it.
So if you have
Plus 1d10. Yeah, okay. It redoes your tens place and keeps the lower one. Okay, so it's going to be 2 for the bonus.
okay. So the second one is the correct one, which means I
Yes.
succeed.
You do succeed with help from Ellie. Because goddamn, you're cutting it pretty fucking close too. A 29 with a 30. Jesus. I imagine that as Nathan's climbing down, he's being careful, and Ellie just like points out a loose rock he was about to step on with the flashlight just in time. But Nathan, you do make it down in one piece. And as you're going down, you feel how rough the rocks are. And you have this thought of, man, if we fell, that would have fucking sucked.
He just kind
Because
of
I feel like
nods.
he has taken a fall like this before.
Yep, there's reasons why he has scars.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have
Eh,
killed him, but it would have fucking sucked.
I don't advise any of you go wander around up there. This is not a fun trip down if you're not doing it with intention.
Well, that is why you will help us down, yes?
Looks up at her. How many ropes have you climbed?
She
That's
puts
what
a
I thought.
finger to her chin, thinking, oh, you wouldn't catch us.
Looks back up at her again. I would try. Try
You
being the
wouldn't.
operative word there, and since both of you seem to like your word so much, you should know what try means.
You wouldn't want your wife to get injured, no? She kind of puts a hand to her mouth to laugh.
He
Oh,
shakes his
man.
head, turns around, and walks away.
What did I just come back to? Bullying?
Ellie sassing Nathan. But Nathan, you reach down, and as your feet land on the dirt ground, there's just a puff of just loose dirt and dust that comes up. And it's enough to make it a little harder to breathe. Not
Scarf.
impossible, but just a little, uncomfortable.
Scarf over mouth.
Mm. As you pull the scarf over your mouth, you have your flashlight, and once again, there's no movement as you look around, but this time you're able to see much better since you're on the same level now. And the first thing that catches your eye is a giant cabinet over on the far wall. Probably over here. And as you walk towards it, you see something next to it. Two somethings on the ground. And it takes you a second to realize, but you're looking at two skeletons sitting there. The position that they're in kind of rocks you to your core a little bit. I'd like you to roll me a sanity check
Oh boy.
as you see that they're in tattered silk robes, and you see that the edges of them are burned and charred from smoke. You see that the positions of the skeletons, one of them is clawing at the wall. You see the indents in the stone, and the other is kind of reaching for the door right next to the cabinet that you saw earlier leads to stairs that are covered by rubble. You're able to keep your cool, but they probably hid from the police during the raid and then got trapped and died in the fire.
He's kind of cursing under his breath at seeing that. And they very clearly, like, the robes and everything have kind of disintegrated, right?
They're in pieces. They're still identifiable as these were robes. You'd think they were silk, but from time and the fire, they are very worn down.
Is there any symbols on them that he can see just from looking and not touching?
You can see bits and pieces of white symbols. Most of it is broken down and ripped and stained from dirt and the smoke. But you do spot similar shapes to the symbol you saw earlier, the one on the ground up top.
Nathan is not a religious man, but I imagine that the urge is too strong not to, like, cross himself. And then he will skirt around the skeletons. He's not messing with them. And will check out the cabinet.
Okay. You open the cabinet, and inside is just a bunch of molding books. And a cursory glance, you see that they're all dated, going back years. Flipping through them, you see that they're church records. Because this was a church. But the pages themselves are covered in mildew and mold, and are kind of peeling off as you try to flip through them.
He'll take off his jacket and put them in his jacket and tie them up into a bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, like, can he look at the cabinet and see if there's anything else? Any little mechanisms? Any extra items or etchings or...
Yeah, you can go ahead if you take the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I will say that it takes you like another, 10 minutes to go through everything. And staying down here with the bodies and the mold.
He's got his mouth and nose covered.
Yeah, alright.
This is the 1920s. They don't fucking know about some of that shit yet.
Who gives a shit about OSHA? But you get your mouth and nose covered. You spend the time, and do you communicate at all with the others? Or is it just silent after Nathan goes down?
He probably wouldn't communicate until one of them called out, and then he would very clearly, very serious, just tell them not to come down right now.
Okay. So your search, after going through all of the very surprisingly legal church records that they have here, you find the bottom of the cabinet. It's a bit loose. And as you slide your hand around it, you notice that there's this tiny little divot. Just enough room for someone to slip a finger in and pull. And you see that there's a false bottom here. And as you open that up, you find a journal and a large book that looks even older than everything else you've seen here.
Open up jacket again, stick him in the bundle, tie up jacket again.
All right.
Do one more sweep of the bottom.
Only thing you see down here after all of that is just depression of, man, the way that the bodies are posed really makes you not want to be here for much longer.
Yep. turn around, goes back over to the rope, and will tie the bundle into the rope so that the girls can hoist it up,
Mm-hmm.
so he doesn't have to fight it,
Mm-hmm.
and then wait for the rope to be dropped back down and come up himself.
All right. You guys feel like what? A tugging on the rope as he starts tying it.
Got a little bundle of goodies for y'all to look over, but I don't want to carry them up on my way up. I already have enough issues with these nasty looking rocks down here.
You okay?
He just kind of tilts his head, considering what he is going to say as he finishes tying the bundle into the rope. Well, let's just say I think we know where a couple of the cult members ended up.
Evie will frown and reaches down into like the little medical kit that I imagine she brought along. And she will take something from it and just prepare it. Nathan hears the pouring of liquid. Well, I've got a flask full of your favourite up here for you. Dull the pain a little.
There's a little smirk. Well, thank you for it. Once I get up there, y'all might want to be pulling this up before I head up, though. As he finishes tying the bundle.
Grab. Pull rope up.
Heave. So I imagine it's not. I don't think it's a heavy bundle, but I feel like it's gotta be really careful considering the jagged rocks that the rope has to skirt around.
Well, I
So
imagine
it takes some time.
there's a little bit of time, a little bit of maneuvering, but he also would not have tied it to like the very end. He would have tied it
Mm.
up higher so that he can like have the end and kind of help guide it at an angle, I imagine.
Very smart. Very smart. It's like he's a professional.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
Mm.
amazing what happens when you're a professional that would have to realistically tie ropes quite frequently.
Yeah. All right. So incoming special delivery. We have a present from Nathan wrapped up in his own jacket. And imagine you guys untie the bundle, you throw the rope down. Nathan, I'm not going to make you roll climb again, because climbing up would be easier. And you already know what to look out for. So it doesn't take you long to be able to join the others, being very careful about your foot placement once you get on the ground level. And the fresh air feels very, very nice after being in that dusty, mildewy, moldy basement for the better part of like 20 minutes.
I imagine he like comes out of the hole and kind of crawls a foot or two away from it just to be careful, since he is a bit heavier than Ellie or Evie. And then we'll kind of sit down out of the way as they're, I'm imagining, probably fucking with the bundle at this point. And he's just kind of like cleaning his hands, just a little bit more somber, a little less frustrated, and like I don't want to say perky, but lively.
Once he gets up, um, Evie will offer him her personal like travel shot glass with some whiskey in it.
And Elaine will offer him a little handkerchief to like clean any dust or whatever off of him.
He'll accept both with just kind of like a lift of the shot glass before he knocks it back. And shakes his head a little bit, kind of like staring at the bundle, not at either of them. Well, I can definitely tell you that all of it ended in a fire. Probably why the floor is all falling in like it is. Lucky that those things survived.
Elaine will move over to the bundle and gently, carefully open it up.
The
You
journal
find
and what was the other thing with the journal?
a very large old book, and then some more journals that are the church records. But the one that was hidden, I imagine it's the equivalent of like marble notebooks compared to a proper leather bound journal.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, something the size of like an encyclopedia that's once again like leather bound.
No motion to the ones that were under the cabinet. Those were in a nice little hidden compartment. The rest of them were up top, easy to get to.
I would. Oh,
Go on.
go ahead. No, you first.
After you.
This is out of character stuff, so go ahead.
No, after you.
I was just gonna say, like, who wants to take which? Because I know Elaine would be really interested in the weird book.
Evie will take the Bible. Not the Bible. Oh man. Oof.
Angharad is showing.
I
I was about
know,
to
right?
say, your anguish
Wrong
going.
game.
Wrong game. Wrong game, Kira. Switch gears. You're pretty. You're
I know you're
English
in the
this
church,
game.
but come on.
Oh god, with the lineup, it's fucking. I'm Welsh, and then I'm English, and then I'm Scottish in the rotation.
Let's go.
Oh man. Evie will inquire if we want to read these here, or if we want to take them back to the hotel to read them there. Because I think that's
Well,
also something we should figure out.
yeah, we
What
could read them in the taxi.
And get carsick?
what time of day would it be at this point?
I would say it's approximately like 3.
Mm. You said this is like an hour or two out of town?
Mm-hmm. Imagine
Okay.
you guys got up, had your breakfast, went to the records, got out of there by like 11 because it didn't take long. You guys took the hour to drive out, hour to drive back, you know. So I think it's around like 3 at this point.
What was the other thing we needed to do today?
We were, we didn't need to do it today. We were talking about visiting the house,
Okay.
but we found a different rabbit trail to follow first, so that can happen tomorrow bright and early instead. Um, Nathan just kind of like wiping his hands on the handkerchief and like trying to get as much dust and like mildew off as he can. Just kind of like you see him like eyeing the sky for a second. Well, probably best to at least try and start heading back to town. It probably gonna take us a little bit to try and get a taxi. And then,
I think we might have to walk for a fair bit.
yep. It's probably best to go ahead and head out right now. And get cleaned up for dinner and look over these things during and after if we need to.
And look them over someplace that doesn't make the back of my neck tingle.
I would say that is part of the fun.
Well, it's part of the fun, yes. But, well, I'd rather not have any spines shot at me today.
Hmm. I don't know if it's in count, but I'm pretty sure ain't nothing around here gonna be bothering nobody anytime soon. Don't need, don't mean we need to be disturbing them any more than we already have, though.
Hmm. And there's nothing else on this level that we can see, like further across, right, Amy?
Just ruins.
Okay.
I
There's
mean,
nothing else of note.
not a tentacle-y thing.
Listen, I didn't make the map.
So
I didn't make the fucking map.
if you made the map, there would be a tentacly thing, is what you're saying.
Bruh. There is a very interesting statue in the back, but I'll be honest, I didn't see it. I chose the map.
How did you?
I thought it was a bush. I'll be honest.
I thought that was the reason you chose this map.
This is the map someone made of the Chapel of Contemplation.
They were contemplating.
Yep. All right. I thought that was a bush that was growing indoors. I'll be honest. But it's across the sinkhole. If you want to go investigate it, you can.
Only if it's canon.
Fuck it. It's canon now.
I mean, there's a walkway over here. We have rope.
Risk it if ye shall dare. I will be needing luck rolls.
Nathan's good because he also knows the further out you get, yeah, you have rope, but you gonna be swinging downwards. Swinging being the key part of that phrase into sharp rocks.
Fine.
You see the want in Ellie's face.
She wants to look at it so bad.
Yeah, it's got that same property that the symbol does. Looking at it kind of forms more of a headache in the
Wait, it does?
nerve of your forehead.
See, the two ladies might be fucking fancy ass doctors and shit of like really intense shit, but fucking Nathan's over here understanding basic physics of do you understand
pulleys and levers?
Do you understand pendulum into sharp thing?
You must understand a minimum of one simple machine to proceed past this point.
Elaine could just, pull a legacy. She's small, she's petite. Just crawl.
Crawl.
See, I can't argue because I did do that.
So yeah. Okay. Elaine will ask for Nathan's stick. She'll tie the rope around her waist. Start making her way across.
My shillelagh. Do you know how many generations that thing's been in my family?
I shall show it to you if anything happens.
If you lose my shillelagh.
She's already crawling.
Yep.
All right, Iris, I'm going to make a deal with you.
Okay.
I will let you do your luck roll with one bonus die if during the crawling, Elaine completely fucking fucks up her outfit. All the dust and dirt. Some jagged rocks tearing at some things here and there.
Fucking sucks, but fine.
Or you can do your best to keep your outfit intact and only have some smudges of dirt on like your your wrists and your knees, but you're not going to get the bonus die.
No, I need the bonus die. Because you said the statue over there is given some kind of weird effect, and that's curiosity.
I see. Okay. This is how...
That I was gonna let it go, but then you described it like that. So yeah, I'll take the bonus. How do I do that?
So I
Click
think
on
you
it,
put it on your sheet. Yeah.
and it should
Click
pop
on
up.
look.
Yeah, click on look.
Clicking.
Be a bonus.
Okay, got it.
And you're
Bonus.
gonna put 2.
I don't see where to put the. Wait, do I click submit and then it'll pop up?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to click through the drop down, click again, and then you'll get the pop up for a number of die.
Okay.
You definitely needed it.
Yep.
God damn. It's worth it. It's worth it. You see that, Ellie, as you're crawling, right? You get to like right here, and
Yeah.
then this little section right here. Okay, so what happens, right, as you're crawling is that the edge of your skirt gets caught on something, and you just hear this rip as from your knee down from what on one side just has a tear through the skirt. And it stops you in your tracks. And you think, oh my fucking god, no. And then you hear that, oh, shaking in front of you as this section falls out right in front of you, right where you would have been if you didn't stop because your dress ripped.
Oh. Oh fuck.
And
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's not too much of a jump. It's pretty easy. But I will need a jump roll.
Where's jump?
There's a lot of skills in this game. I'd like to use them.
I have concerns on this one. What can she make out from this distance? Because she is a lot closer.
Well, she's gonna make out. She needs somebody to make out with.
Oh my god.
You see that the closer you get as you stop and you turn to the statue, that tingling in the front of your forehead that you got from the symbol, looking at it, it's hurting a lot more now to an almost just dull ache that kind of reaches your eyes as well. And you do notice that there's the structure around this statue. And you see the charred wood around it and some more stones that's been crumbling. And you're able to piece together from this distance that, oh, this was a statue that was hidden. But the thing that was hiding it has crumbled with the rest of the building. But the statue itself is immaculate. It's in perfect condition. The only weathering on it, dust and different dirt that's been kicked up and blown onto it. But it does start to hurt the longer you look at it.
I'm gonna try it. Guys.
Okay? Again, if you risk your... Holy fucking shit!
Oh my god!
Holy fucking shit! Let's fucking
Elaine's
go!
gonna fucking parkour.
Yeah, how does she do this? How does she jump this gap that's like 10 feet? Not even 10 feet, but, impressive.
So, okay. So how I imagine this is maybe there was a rock that she sees that it's loose. But she takes kind of a gamble that she can put her weight on it just to get that little bit further. So like it's a little higher kind of thing, like maybe not part of the wall, but like maybe part of something that was on top of the floor. So when she jumps, kind of pushes off to get across a little bit.
I have an important question for you. Do you do a flip?
No, but she lands very delicately with practice grace.
All right. And as you land, I imagine fucking Nathan and Evie both had a fucking heart attack from across the room as they see this.
Mm-hmm.
Is she? What does she think she's? Oh, she's going to get herself. Nathan, did you see that?
Nathan is just holding on to this rope. white knuckled. Because he's planning on trying to desperately pull her in to keep her from dying if he needs to.
Right?
He just kind of blinks. Nah, I hope she doesn't realize she's gonna have to do that again to get back now.
Well, if she managed to leap like that, I'm certain that this is quite easy for her. Who knew? Our very own Elaine, an Olympian.
Considering I've seen her out of breath going up and down stairs once or twice. Sure, Olympian.
Elaine, you stick the landing and you think, oh my god, I did it.
I'm awesome.
It's short lived though, as you look up at that statue. It's right there now. And closer you get and the longer you look at it, it's really starting to hurt. It's essentially went from this dull ache to a moderate throbbing, just right in the front of your forehead.
Is there, excuse me, any sort of writing or symbols or anything? What is the statue of? Now that she's much closer, she'll clear off some of the debris to get a better look at it.
Do you touch the statue?
The debris that's around it.
Okay. Just wanted to, double check, make sure,
Yeah.
clarify things,
I can touch it. I have a chance to risk my life in a little bit once I learn more information.
Okay. So as you move the debris around that was kind of housing the statue, you notice that you have no idea what the statue is supposed to depict. It's an entity of some sort, with eyes that seem to almost glow in the sun, in the very fastly fading sunlight as more clouds pass overhead, making the sky just a bit darker than it was before. There's wind that flows through the broken walls that sends another chill up your spine as you notice the etchings on each tendril that's connecting to this creature is carved with small symbols you've seen elsewhere, but mostly it's the same symbol you saw over here on the floor. But you don't see anything that could even remotely be what this statue is of. And the longer you look at it, the more of a headache you have. And the closer you get, the stronger that headache is.
She'll get really close to it, and she's just trying to push through this headache that is just pounding.
It's a throbbing headache.
Yeah.
And at that point, sorry, no, go ahead. Continue.
Oh, you first.
No, dig your hole. Dig your hole.
No.
I don't.
Go ahead, Dan.
No. I'm not going to continue with exposition. I'm going to let you continue digging. It's okay.
I'm just gonna get really close to it and maybe touch one of its eyes, or like between its eyes.
Ooh, right where the pain is for you.
We found the person who sets off the traps in this party.
I want you to roll me a sanity check with a penalty die.
Okay. Sanity. Roll. Penalty. Submit 2?
Yep.
Submit. Hey.
Ooh, even with a penalty. Damn. Okay. Let me double check that. Yep. That was a penalty, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, you're able to keep standing, but that pain from the headache just bursts upon contact with the statue, right in the point that you're touching it, that same spot right between the eyebrows, middle of the forehead. It feels like it gets caught on fire. But only that part, and it kind of feels like it spreads through your brain, down your spine, to the edge of your fingertip, that you're making contact with this statue. And for a second, your vision gets blurry. Your feet get a little unsteady from the sheer force and suddenness that this pain comes from. And you swear for a second that the eyes light up. But you're able to stay on your feet. You're a little shaky, but you're still up.
uh, Elaine takes a step back and kind of steps back a bit and obviously moves her hand off the thing
Mm-hmm.
and is breathing really hard, kind of sweating a bit. Maybe a bit of nausea, yeah, the whole 9 yards kind of thing. Um, she turns back to the others and after a minute of kind of composing herself a bit, she says, I I'm fine. Just give me a moment.
See, if you're having to turn around and tell us that you're fine, that probably means that you're not fine. Just saying.
Yeah, she doesn't look too fine. She, like I said, she's sweating, feeling feeling a little not on her, not like trying to find her equilibrium a little bit.
I think it's about time you come back. We got a ways to walk, and we need you actually able to walk.
She just nods.
As Elaine starts heading back, Evie will call out to her, "Remember, you need to take solace in things you know very well. So come on, let's hear it. What are the endemic fish of the area?"
Kira.
You don't have to answer. It's just something that like Evie would want to do. She's trying to help.
This is Evie's way of comforting.
Yeah.
Elaine will respond in French.
How kid friendly is the phrase in French?
Are we about to lose our funding?
She is responding in French because she recognizes that Evie is trying to help her, so she's answering in French. The what fish are nearby, at least what she thinks.
Okay.
Not like screaming it or anything to over there, but like you see her lips moving as she's trying to like remind herself. Focus on what you know.
Exactly.
As she tries to make her way back.
You can go this way,
Is that safer?
considering it's not a giant fucking hole
Okay.
you have to pass.
Nathan, as
Hug
soon as
the
he
wall.
sees you like turn the other direction, yeah, he would say, just try to stay as close to the wall as you can. That's gonna be where the strongest boards are.
Yeah, okay. She'll do that. She'll look at the statue once more before, you know, basically following along the wall.
Don't touch it, ma'am.
No, she didn't touch it. She just looks at it again. And then go. Curiosity. It's horrible.
Alright, so y'all reconvene. Elaine looks worse for wear, both physically and her clothing being ripped in certain places and dust and dirt stained in others. Well, she's in one piece. She's conscious. And she's back with all of you on the safe, stable ground.
I believe we will need to go shopping at some point.
Yeah, you won't get all sorts of weird looks when we get a taxi and when we have to walk back through the hotel through the main lobby. But hey, you got to touch a weird statue.
How many other people in your graduating class can say the same? This one's probably really haunted.
Its eyes were glowing when I touched it.
Glowing?
God.
Nathan's like untying the rope currently because he's like nobody else is going into the house. Nods. Loops up the rope slowly, and as soon as the rope is looped up, he snatches his shillelagh back and starts pushing both ladies.
Yeah,
And
that checks
we're
out.
gone. We are done here today. We are not staying here after dark.
All right. As you guys leave, Nathan and Evie, your little penguin you've had in your forehead from the symbol and the proximity almost vanishes completely as you step off the premises. And by the time you're halfway down the street, the feeling is gone. And as you guys go further and further down the street, the clouds blocking the sun move with another gust of wind, and the sunlight comes back in at full force. And you remember, oh, it's only 3 p.m. But for Ellie, that headache lessens to a dull throb, but it doesn't disappear. It stays for the better part of a couple hours, actually. You're going to be having that just right in the middle of your forehead. Enough to not cause pain, but enough to remind you that it's there.
Kindest way of saying you fucked around and found out.
Mm, putting it lightly.
And you guys walk around until you can find a cab. Imagine you stop at you walk until you hit a store that you can borrow a phone from, that you can call a cab to pick you guys up.
Get a new skirt if possible.
You gotta take that up with Evie and Nathan.
They'll buy it for you, but I don't know what we're gonna find out in the middle of nowhere like this.
It's even just a coat or something to cover herself. And,
Yeah, I think a coat's doable.
yeah. And Elaine has money. She can get it herself and just finding a shop.
Yeah, again, it's more of a factor, less a factor of are they willing, more a factor of finding it reasonable to arriving at the hotel first.
Because at that point, she probably has new clothes in her case.
Yeah.
Mm. Alright, so imagine by the time you guys all get back to the hotel, it's around 5. Just in time for dinner and maybe a quick change of clothes for Elaine. But man, that dress is ruined.
I imagine that between Elaine needing to change and just the weird shit of the house, Nathan would not house, church. Nathan would suggest that they take their dinner up in their rooms and they
Yeah,
can
sounds like a good idea.
discuss the books privately without having to go down and deal with people.
You get it to go. Whose room is being commandeered?
Evie's.
Yeah, it only makes sense. It only makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Alright, you guys get your dinners to go. They do give you a look of just not judging, but more like, okay, I mean, the restaurant is very nice, but understandable. We'll have that brought up to your rooms immediately.
Room service.
Right, room service. Oh, and it's not long after you guys settle in. Ellie gets a change of clothes. You all meet up in Evie's room when there's a knock at the door. Food cart is here. And you're all presented with your dinner, which excellent quality, by the way. And enough drinks, a nice pitcher of water, some juice. There's some sparkling cider.
Ooh, fancy.
Mm-hmm. But obviously no alcohol.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Who could ever forget that we are in the middle of the prohibition? Who would do that, Amy?
Who said that they have illegal contraband on them earlier in this session?
Who would do? God damn it! I did it again. Oh man. You let me hang myself on that one. Oh man. You just let that slide. You
I
didn't
did.
say shit.
Nope.
You were like, did Kira do it again? Two
Yes.
sessions in a row?
It's okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
Mhm.
The worst they can do is send her back to the UK.
Right? But eventually the person carrying the food leaves and you're all left to your own devices and dinner. I'll say by now, Ellie, the headache has finally stopped. After like 2 hours of just constant, it's finally gone. And there's just like sense of relief that washes through you.
She probably still ordered a lighter dinner, like a salad and like some like lemon water or some shit.
I don't know why, but I imagine that the dish of the night, the special, is some lamb chops.
Lamb chops are good. We can fucks with lamb chops.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, Ellie can order the other thing, but I don't know why. I feel like that's what they would try to push on you guys.
I feel like Nathan, it's not hard to convince Nathan to eat whatever the special is at any given restaurant. Nathan just wants food.
I think Evie will have the catch of the day.
Tuna.
I think Elaine usually orders lighter food, but she usually gets some kind of pastry with it because she likes her sweets.
Hell yeah. But you guys are all gathered in Evie's room. You have your loot bundled up in Nathan's jacket, sitting on the table. Note to self, Nathan's probably gonna need a new jacket.
Yes and no. He's probably just not going to wear that one again, but he's probably going to go take it to a tailor and get like the lighting like redone. Because he's a frugal man. He just is now on his backup jacket.
Gotcha.
Spooky book time.
What do the spooky books say?
Okay. So. Oh, no. Aha. There we go. Well, Nathan went through the church records before. Again, every single book in here, including the ones from the hidden compartment, are falling to pieces as you flip through them. The pages are filled of mold and mildew, and you see that there are different holes where you think different bugs and insects got to them, eating up at the paper. And looking at the old journal that you found, wrapped up in a cord of leather, it's hard to make out what it says, but the name Walter Corbett does catch your eye. And spending like half hour to an hour flipping through this, the only thing you're able to get from it, the only piece of entry that survived, was one of the last ones. You see that the only thing you're able to make out on the very top of one of the pages before the rest is just lost to mildew is, in accordance with his wishes and with the wishes of the one who waits in the dark, Walter Corbett was buried in the basement of his house. You see that that entry is signed from one um, Reverend Michael Thomas. Looking at the large volume that's much bigger and much older than the journal, you see that a quick glance, I would say that both Evie and Elaine would note that it is handwritten entirely in Latin. However, it's so rotten and worm eaten that entire sections can't be understood anymore. But you do see that the etching on the front cover, etched into the leather and kind of backed with this now aged silver. You see that the name Liber Evonis on the cover. Oh, whoops, not inspect element. I want to copy and paste.
And would Evie know what Ivonus means? Or is that just does it seem
That's
more like a name?
that's the name.
Okay. Hmm.
What is everyone's Latin skills if your character knows it?
36.
0.
Okay. I think Elaine's is lower than Evie's. So, you can read what's left of the book. You can do an initial reading, but you will have to roll Latin. And it's going to take a minimum of 3 hours just to do a cursory initial reading of whatever's left.
Sure. I think that's worth.
Okay? Roll me Latin.
Do I get any bonus or penalties?
Nope.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Actually, I can make that an extreme with not that much luck, right?
It would
Was
be
that
8 luck.
8? Yeah, no, I'll do that. I'll use 8 luck and make that an extreme success.
Nice.
Okay. So, I imagine is Evie reading this on her own or during dinner while everyone's looking at it?
Uh, if it's gonna take 3 hours, she probably started on her own, I imagine. Well, if everyone's in a room, then she might as well read in the room while everyone's there.
Okay. So I will say that Nathan and Ellie, as I guess Ellie identifies, oh, it's Latin, hand it to Evie.
Yeah, Elaine would try and assist if she could, but her Latin's not the best.
Mm-hmm. And as Evie starts reading, Nathan and Ellie, both of you notice that she seems very drawn into it. going over and getting sucked deeper and deeper into the book. And Evie, completing your initial reading, you are going to gain 2% to Cthulhu Mythos knowledge. However,
Nice.
your maximum sanity is going to be reduced by 2.
Okay.
Not your current, your maximum.
All right.
As you don't learn anything concrete here, but you know that if you do study this, there's something about the pages and the symbols on it, and the way some of these passages are worded in an almost chant-like way, that you know that there's something not normal in these pages. And you know that if you spend a few weeks studying it, you might be able to figure out what all of this means.
Do I find anything that's like super relevant to the current mystery, or is that not part of the cursory read?
And it's not part of the initial reading.
Okay. Evie gets sucked into this and doesn't seem to realize that time has passed at all.
Yeah, Evie, that 3 hours felt like 10 minutes.
And she looks up, and there's a certain look in her eye that she gets on occasion around things like this, where she's both a little afraid but very intrigued. She snaps the book shut, sets it down on her lap. I've got good news, and I've got bad news.
That's what's the bad news.
The bad news is that if I do dedicate more time to reading this tome, well, something about it seems to be seeping into my head, and I'm not entirely certain I'd remain your darling, charming Dr. Chambers for very much longer. It makes me feel like I need to know more, but as if I shouldn't. The good news is that I can't read it.
Elaine kind of leans in closer at hearing that.
Nathan, I imagine if it took 3 hours, like it started in while during dinner, and he's just like, Elaine's getting to read all this other shit. Evie's reading the fancy book that he can't even parse. He has his own like fucking like novel that he is reading. Just like, okay, it's quiet reading time. This is not helpful, but this is quiet reading time. And like he's listening to this, he looks up, looks at Evie, then looks at Ellie, sees that she has gotten that mildly concerning, a little too interested look again. Looks at the book, grabs it, tucks it under his arm, looks back to his novel, and keeps reading.
I say, is that Robinson Crusoe?
Yeah, I think so.
How are you enjoying it? I've heard it's been quite popular here.
Well, it's one of the things that was suggested by the librarian back home. Relatively interesting, not very far in it yet.
An adventure story seems a little better for the mind than my reading.
He looks up and looks at her, looks at his book, and then just holds the novel over to her.
Evie will pick up Robinson Crusoe and just quietly start reading.
And he just,
May I
nope,
see the book?
nope.
Why?
I'm afraid we're going to have to place that under Nathan's custody. I have had my dealings with the supernatural, but I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
I do not wish to read it. I just want to see if I
You
can
do
place
not
where it's
wish to
from.
read it. You simply. You can read Latin. I've seen you do it. I also saw you not 3 hours ago leap clear across a quick math,
Chasm.
3 meter chasm.
Magic.
All to take a look at a statue whose eyes started glowing. No, you're in no state to read it, at least tonight.
I just want
Perhaps,
to see the binding.
perhaps,
He will like he arches a brow. I just want to see the binding, and he will just lift it up in front of his face and hold it.
Mm.
Lowers it so that you see his eyes above the book. Hears the frustrated groan. Nods. Places it back in his lap.
you can take a closer look once your brain has had time to settle. I know mine needed some.
My brain is fine. The headache went away a while ago.
Evie tilts her head.
It went away before you started reading.
Evie leans forward. What was that? Beep.
What's that
What?
beeping?
Beeping?
My computer is having a seizure. Please hold.
There's a bomb in the book. There's a bomb in the book. Everybody run.
that's, that's what I was thinking of. Like,
Holy
you're
shit.
Holy
Dude,
shitter.
I just got a citizen alert of a man offering people a cup of blood.
Gross.
That is wild.
A what alert?
A cup of blood.
No, but you said some kind of alert. What alert? I've never heard
Oh,
of that.
Citizen alert.
Citizen. Yeah, Citizen is an app that it like tracks local crime and stuff.
Oh, what the fuck?
God damn.
Never changed, New York City.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry about that. Please continue.
Evie has leaned in suspiciously.
He is being honest.
GM, is she being honest?
Also, we did not know that she had a headache.
Evie's assuming that there's something. Okay, the way that I'm playing this is Evie is going off of like her experiences at the lighthouse and how fucked up she was for a little bit. If that feels too metagamey, then I can play it down. But that's where Evie is coming from, I figure, in
No,
terms
she has
of
past experience.
yeah, scramble.
Mm. Like, so above table here, legit, Elaine wants to see if she can place like when/where the book is from. She's going to try and read it.
Evie narrows her eyes. All right, but Nathan keeps hold of it.
That is fine. Is that agreeable?
Nathan's kind of like looking between the two of them for a second. Because he has had weird experiences, but not like Evie has for certain. I don't know what Elaine has had. And he's just like, mm. And he will slowly place the book on the table between him and Ellie. And will slide his hand under the cover, so essentially she can like look at the spine of the book, look at the cover, open it up, and like see like the first page.
Yeah, that's what she wants.
And then his hand is very firmly pressed on the rest of the page. So she is not flipping it open, she is not taking it from him.
Hmm. She won't try to. She's just trying to place words in if she can. Yeah.
Roll me. Fuck. Where's my tab? Where? Where'd it go? I have like 3 windows open. Ah, yes, here it is. Okay. And what exactly are you trying to do again? Like, what exactly are you looking for again?
She's trying to place like how old it is or where it's possibly from. Like
Hmm.
that.
You can roll me occult for that.
Okay.
I was hoping it was going to be history so that I could roll something. Because I have a little
I
bit of
mean,
history.
if you want, you can roll history.
Big stab.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Is this occult or history?
Yes.
I've got history. Yeah, no.
Okay. So, both on the occult side, Ellie, you're still recovering from that headache. Evie, you're kind of more focusing on Ellie's reactions to it, I think,
Mm-hmm.
than the book itself. But Nathan, you've got it like physically in your hands, right?
Hmm.
And you're able to see that this is an old book. You would probably gauge that it is like a good 100 or 2 years old. The decay and wear and tear, um, this kind of makes it hard to really pinpoint. And the fact that half of this is illegible because of all the mold doesn't help. But you do know that, like, this is not the official original copy. But you know, it's probably one of the first copies made, thinking back to it. You've probably heard the name referred to before in different readings, maybe even from Ellie and Evie themselves. So, it's not the original, but it's probably a very old copy. And you do see that it does look like this copy was personalized a little bit. Some things aren't lining up with what you have heard about the original copies. There's a bit added to some pages. You see some things that were handwritten don't match up with what you know to be in different versions of it. There's entire chapters that have been added that are hard to make out, but you can tell that that wasn't supposed to be there. It's essentially, hey, you know that this thing has 12 chapters. Why are there 15 chapters?
Hmm.
Fucking McAfee is harassing me now. Stop it. I don't give a shit. Stop it.
So, I imagine, like, Nathan is taking a look at this thing, like, more seriously for the first time, as uh, Elaine is as well. And just kind of tilts his head and kind of squints at it. Well, I don't know if you can tell much more than I can, but this book's old for sure. At least 100 or so. Tell by the binding on it.
Lane will kind of lean in and look at it closer, try and pick up on what Nathan's picking up on.
Nathan kind of like sees that.
He's not noticed.
He smiles. See, this is why both y'all probably need to be talking to and actually paying attention to the librarian back home a little bit more. She actually knows her shit.
Mm. Mm.
Evie will tilt her head. Huh. You're right about that. That is old. Well, it does make sense. No one's exactly writing books in Latin these days.
Don't think this is an original, though, either. Even for as old as it is.
A copy? That old?
And he nods. And I imagine he has, like, glanced at the book a few times as Evie was reading it, because she was, like, spending 3 hours just, like, furiously skimming through it and translating. Like, there was probably a few moments where it was, like, flip forward, flip back, flip forward, flip back, and glanced over, and so he'll just kind of nod and just sigh. He doesn't want to open this book, but he's going to, and he'll just kind of flip through the pages really fast, like thumb over the pages, until he finds a section that he like is pretty sure is handwritten and like notated somehow, and he'll kind of open to that very briefly so they can look at it, and then like flip through a few more pages to another section that is not as like handwritten. Well, fucking printing press has been around for a while.
Mm.
Yeah, so the printed sections, and we'll be like,
Oh no, this is entirely handwritten.
this is entirely handwritten. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just different types of handwriting then?
Nope.
Or was I misunderstanding somewhere? I guess I'm misunderstanding somewhere. So the entire thing is written by one person,
Yes.
but
More or
sections
less.
were added.
Yes. I would say the added sections are a different handwriting. Sorry, I was misunderstanding as well.
Okay.
So it's entirely handwritten. There were some sections that were added. Handwriting isn't completely different. It is a little similar, but you can tell different person for the added sections.
So he'll flip through for find two sections like that and kind of like chunk the book so that you can see like see the first page and then flip really fast to the next one and then back. Yeah, there's at least two people that were working on it. Maybe more.
Perhaps some sort of grimoire, then.
He just kind of shrugs. Don't know where I heard it, whether or not it was reading or from y'all talking when you just read your own shit back home. Because I don't know that either you realize that you do that, but you do read out loud at moments.
Yes, it's called subvocalizing. It helps you read more quickly.
He kind of like brow furrows, trying to sniff out for a moment if she is bullshitting. Decides it's not worth the effort to try and figure that out, and just kind of like one shoulder shrugs. I heard the name of this thing from one of y'all, or book one of y'all were reading, just left around now took a look at or something. I don't remember where though. Closes book, puts hand on cover, taps the title.
We've mentioned it before. That's strange. I can't seem to remember it. But I suppose I shouldn't be surprised when it comes to these matters. Well, that's a few steps forward. We're now more certain than ever that that house is definitely haunted. It's just a matter of how.
Yeah, I
If
figure
there
if they buried the man in the basement, that's part of the problem.
We would just need to get his bones out and out of the house.
That certainly wouldn't
Hmm.
hurt to do that.
The man of the house was saying something that we needed something of the creature to defeat the creature. We'll have to keep an eye on that as well.
Maybe it is in the book.
I could find out. That would take us quite a deal of time.
No, no,
Ethan
no, no.
picks up the book and puts it back in his lap.
She, she kind of waves her hands. No, 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 no. I mean the books in the records, or the journal. The as in the other books that we got.
Hmm. Ah, yes, those are worth looking into, and less dangerous as well.
So the records were the ones that said that the dude was buried in his basement, right?
The journal
The
was,
journal.
Journal.
the records was just like regular church
Okay.
bookkeeping.
Oh, okay.
So we have skimmed the journal at this point.
Yeah. Now, the only thing of note that you can find that is legible is the fact that he is buried in the basement. Uh, quote unquote, where was it? According with his wishes and the wishes of the one who waits in the dark.
Who is this one who waits in the dark?
A problem.
Does the name ring any bells at all, or the term?
Roll me Cthulhu Mythos.
Fuck it. Can I YOLO roll that one?
Yeah.
Fake sad.
All right. Let's see. We got
None of
nothing.
us.
Saying the name out loud does kind of change the atmosphere a little bit. All of a sudden, the air feels a little sharper than you remember it feeling, but the name doesn't ring any bells.
I don't know if this would count or not, but are there any things that, like, potentially other religions that we could look into that have a similar term?
If you spend the time, you can try and look into that, yeah.
Okay, that'll be something we can look in, or Elaine can look into spare time.
Okay.
Yeah, all I know is that finding the body is going to be one of the things we probably need to do in that house, whether or not it actually does anything for us. Having a dead body in the basement of any house, if we're trying to still stick to our agreements with the landlord, ain't nobody gonna be renting that house if they know that there's a grave down there. And, well, if this all seems to be tying into things that are a little bit bigger than any of us anticipated, well, I'll say it right now, ain't none of us need to be in that house by themselves.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna level with y'all guys. My brain cells are leaving.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we're
Yeah.
wrapping up tonight. As in, like, you guys are ending the night, and then we're going to call the session.
So, head to the house and check it out tomorrow morning bright and early before
I
Elaine
think we
has
could
her
all.
date.
Evie will laugh. I think we could all do the rest, and Elaine her beauty rest.
We. I may need to go find a new outfit, though. Something
We need to
particularly
find
nice.
what?
A new outfit.
Oh.
Something particularly nice.
You realize if you want to go shopping before your date, that means you need to get up earlier, right?
But I always like it early.
Even earlier, because I know how long it takes you to do your hair.
She just kind of waves her hand as to shrug it off. And there is plenty of time in the day.
You
Not
say that
when part of the. Oh, gone.
you say that now, but I am not going to be dealing with you angry about either not getting to shop or being rushed through your shopping.
Hmm. Maybe we'll cross the bridge when we get to it.
Mm-mm. Gonna tell you this now. We're gonna make a little deal here. Yeah? Settle
Hmm.
this the right way. If you start complaining about being rushed through your shopping, or you don't get to shop because you don't wake up early enough, I am gonna call down to the kitchen and have them whip up some nice little concoction of a bunch of nasty liquids. Are you gonna drink it?
Mm. There is no reason for me to take that deal.
'Cause you know you're gonna fail it.
You has no proof of this.
You know you're gonna fail it. That's why you're not gonna take the deal. He leans back in his chair, looks towards Evie, and gestures towards her, towards Elaine. That is the logical conclusion here, ain't it?
That does seem to be correct, yes. The math does check out. Maths. Sorry. Metric, metric, metric.
I imagine that she corrects herself because she doesn't like that she's adopting American phrases.
Evie says math, then says maths, then stops and goes, Nathan, why is that happening?
Welcome to the States.
Evie gives a theatrical shiver. I
Oh,
will say, though, you are planning a rather full day considering that the latter part of it involves raiding a haunted house.
mm. Worst comes to worst, I can just
Use some of
continue.
my clothes.
She looks at Evie with a really.
My suits are bespoke, you know.
Yes, but the it is only proper to wear a dress.
Evie tilts her head. Is it? It's not proper for women to get doctorates now, is it?
Touche. But if you are to leave the impression, a certain type of impression, she kind of puffs up one of her curls a bit.
Evie thinks for a moment. Well, how's this? I don't take nearly as long to get ready in the morning. How about you give me your measurements and I'll go start the process for you in the morning?
That is fair. I shall write down the instructions. She'll take out a piece of paper and start writing out her measurements and like what she wants in an outfit, essentially.
Evie will wait, and as she waits, she looks over to Nathan and nods. And as you know, I'm perfectly trustworthy when it comes to errands.
Slight pause in the writing.
Nathan just kind of like was like watching Elaine write shit down, hears himself being addressed, looks at Evie, blinks, shakes his head, slowly stands up. No, nope. He knows when to beat a strategic retreat and just like tucks the cursed book under his arm and kind of like gives a little nod to the two of them. Well, ladies, I think it's about time that I retire to my own room. Do try to get some rest and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Bonne nuit.
We'll see you in the morning, Mr. Keegan.
He's fucking gone.
All right.
He's not the smartest man in the world, but he's smart enough to know a trap.
Quick Escape, featuring Nathan. Is there anything else you guys wanted to have your characters do on that night?
That book is going in whatever safe or an equivalent of a safe or a lockbox that this hotel might have in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need to do that?
Because you have to ask that question.
And who's got the book?
Nathan has the cursed book.
The only one who can't read it.
Yep, the only one who can't read it has no desire to read it, and that's why it's going into the lockbox.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just leave it in the room. It doesn't need any special place or anything like that.
Between you asking those questions and God knows who is going to be looking for that book if they ever figure out that it's been taken. Lockbox.
Lockbox. All right, Nathan. This is probably the first time you're using the lockbox in a hotel room?
I don't know
With
if
this
it
group?
is.
Yeah, no.
Okay, not the first time.
Honest.
Never mind. This is practiced. You don't even stop at the bed or anything. You just go straight to the closet where the lockbox is.
Plus, he has a gun, but I mean, I guess that wouldn't fit in a small lockbox, huh?
And he's not concerned about somebody getting the gun because guess what? There are more guns.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else you want to have your characters do that night?
Wait.
Sleep.
All right. You all go back to your rooms. Tuck yourselves in for a very, very restful sleep. Some more restful than others. And we're going to end the session here and pick up the next morning.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks for session, Amy.
Yeah, thanks for hosting, Amy. It was fun.
I had fun too.